You're watching an amazing podcast from an amazing podcast company.
Welcome to the Vegas Player Podcast. I'm Jimmy Naples. Johnny Ciccatelli couldn't be here with us today, but I am here with the legendary, the one, the only, Jimmy Mulidore, the Vegas Player himself. What's up, Jimmy? How you doing today?
Great, Jimmy. Nice to see you. Miss Johnny being there, but good to see you.
So we're here in Crimetown, USA with the legendary Jimmy Mulidore. And please make sure that you check out his book, The Vegas Player, available now at jimmymulidore.com. Make sure you check that out. Jimmy, let's talk about one of your relatives here, your cousin, Jimmy Dankers Petrella. Tell the people out there, I know some people have heard the name, some might know who he is. There's some that might not. Tell us who was he and what kind of guy he was.
Jimmy Danks Petrella. Related, his father was first cousins with my dad. Okay. Jimmy Danks was not like the Naples. I'm not blowing smoke up you because you're in Naples. Jimmy Danks did favors but expected something back. Sandy, Billy, and Joey never, ever once wanted anything back from me. Let's clarify that right off the bat. Because of that led to a lot of problems for me because of Jimmy Danks. Now, Danks did me a couple of good favors, and he did some funny things in his life that I refrained from talking about it, but, he did some strange things. His claim to fame, he loved to brag that he got arrested 52 times, and he was associated with that miserable Fats Aiello, one of the most horrendous figures out of Palermo, Sicily that you ever met in your life. Humphrey Bogart lookalike. His claim to fame was breaking people's kneecaps if they didn't pay him money that he wanted, or if he wanted to put you away for good. Fats was a notorious, mean, horrible guy. So Jimmy Danks did me for one thing. He got me a brand new Cadillac out of Detroit, $7,500. Every cream of the crop. Okay. But I didn't realize that he told Fats Aiello everything he did, because you got to understand, Jimmy was underneath Fats. Fats was the capo, and okay. Jimmy was like his rather like a little lieutenant. I didn't realize he told Fats everything. So now, whenever I'd hear, "Hey, cuz," oh, Maranami, I'd go on the ground because I knew he wanted something. And there was a men's shop in a town called Steve Gordon Men's Shop at the airport.
Okay. Everybody
that came into town, including Sinatra, they go to this men's shop. Horrendous colors. If you look at that picture of Sinatra with a pink outfit singing, and I'm behind him playing saxophone, Jimmy Danks would stop there and buy these clothes, pea green, orange, everything. They would wear clothes that if they were seen in Youngstown with them, they'd get nailed to the cross. They wouldn't wear those clothes in Youngstown.
Right.
So anyway, "Hey, cuz," here it comes. So now, I'm having a problem with a Mormon guy named Wayne Ryrie. He was like a investor. Okay. And I invested $100,000 with him with the stipulation that he would give me my money back in 4 days if anything went haywire. So, paying 18% a year, man, I was in heaven. 4, 5, 6 months, everything great. All of a sudden, bada bing, it stops. So I go down to see him. He was on East Sahara Avenue in a big trailer. That was his office in Paradise. So I go down there, and he's behind the desk, and I said, "Wayne, how come the check stopped?" So we had a little problem, but they'll be all right. But he had a little letter that he unfortunately left on his desk from the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission.
Okay.
So when he went to get a drink of water, I looked at the letter and it said, all activities concerning the Cochise College Park, that was the name of the investment company, are ceased.
Okay.
Because they found the newspaper man in Arizona in the trunk of a car dead. They called him, he was bludgeoned to death. He was the journalist.
Okay.
He was going to expose the fraudulent activities of Cochise College Park. That's the one I had the money invested.
Okay.
So I said, hey, Wayne, what is this? You know, you're lying to me. I showed him the letter. He said, oh, don't worry about it. I said, I want my money. He said, oh, I can't do anything right now. I said, well, you might get a visitor. So all of a sudden, here comes Jimmy Danks. He comes, hey, cuz. So this is going to work in my benefit at this time. He comes up with a black Cadillac. He looks like Edward G. Robinson if you show a picture with him when you put this together. With a cigar.
Okay.
And he's sitting in the front seat with the sunglasses. And we pull up to the trailer. And Wayne Ryrie sees us and he runs around the back to get in his car, try to run out. Well, I see that and I jump out of the car and I run around the back and I catch him. So where are you going? He said, I got an appointment. I said, no, you don't. You got to come out. I want you to meet somebody. So, hold on. So he said, no, I got to go. I said, no, you don't. You're going to meet somebody. Now, if you ever seen Jimmy Danks, he's an imposing figure. Yeah. I'm in Warren, Ohio one time with he and I and Frankie Lentine. Don King walks in. He was doing a fight with Jimmy Danks and Frankie Lentine. Long story short, he said, he chased Don King. I said, get the F out of here, you whatever. He chased him out of the room like he was nothing. Jimmy Danks had balls like King had. And he wasn't afraid of anybody except Fats Aiello, my father. Anyway, he comes to the front of the car and Danks says, get in the car. He said, no, I can't. I got an appointment. He said, you only heard me say that once. That's all I'm going to say. If I have to get out of the car, you're in trouble. So he gets in the front seat. He says, open the glove compartment. He opens the glove compartment. Wayne opens the glove compartment. There's a blank white envelope with a pen in there. He says, get that envelope and I want you to make a real identifying mark on that envelope. What do you mean? He says, what do you can't hear? What are you, some white miserable? He said, put a mark on the envelope. So he marks the envelope. He said, put it back in there. He says, now here's the deal. Now he gets in the car and we're riding around. And Dankers, with the cigar in his mouth, points. I'm in the back seat, and he points at me in the back seat. He says, this MF, did he give you $100,000 for investment? He said, yeah, he did. And he said, you promised to give him the money back in 4 days if it wasn't bad. He said, yeah, I did. He said, well, that wasn't his money. It was my money. So the guy got white in the face. And he says, oh, boy. He says, so here's the deal. Today's Monday. Friday at 12 o'clock, you're going to drive up to his house with $100,000 cash. You're going to give him $100,000 cash Friday at 12 o'clock. He said, there's no way in the world I can get him that money. He said, well, okay, Monday morning, if you don't have that cash by 12 o'clock Friday, I'm going to mail you back your left eye in that envelope that you marked. You're going to get that in the mail Monday morning. We understand each other? Friday at 12 o'clock, the cash came. Jimmy Danks.
Did you have to give him any money for that? For the help?
Oh, yeah, I give him $5,000. But now this leads, this leads to Fats Aiello.
Okay.
Fats Aiello was related to Mikey Velardo. He got him points at the Caesars Palace, a couple of $250,000. Every time Fats would come into town, he'd go bug Mickey for money to go gamble. So now, after a few times, he got cut off. So one morning, I'm about 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I get a knock on my door. And lo and behold, here's Jimmy Danks and the wonderful Fats Aiello at my house. Me, Jimmy. Oh, God have mercy. Have you ever seen Fats Aiello? The worst.
I've seen a few pictures of him.
It does him no justice. He looked like a devil in disguise with like Humphrey Bogart. And he had a little baseball bat with him. But he was notorious for breaking up kneecaps.
Okay.
So he walks in, and now I'm looking at Jimmy Danks, and I say, how do you have the audacity to bring this guy to my house? I got my wife and kids in the other room. And he walks in, and he sits down, and he says, Dankers told me that he got you a car, he got you the money back from that Mormon, he did you other favors. I want 25,000 cash. I said, now I became a wimp. All that cockiness that I thought it was went out the window. I said, Mr. Aliod, I don't have $25,000. He says, who the F do you think you're bullshit? Who do you think you're talking to? You look. I said, Mr. Aliod, here's my paycheck. That's all I make. What do you mean? You got 6 hotels you're running? I said, yeah, but I don't make the money you think I'm making. I don't have $25,000 cash handily ready to give you. I can't get it. So he looks over at Jimmy Danks. He gives him a whack across the face. Jimmy Danks sits there like a mamaluke. This is my cousin.
Wow.
And I'm going, if my father was here, he'd knock Jimmy Danks on his ass. But he wasn't there. And I am frightened to death. The next move, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sitting there, I said, Mr. Aliod, do whatever you have to do. I don't have the money. Now I'm sitting there, I'm ready to get hit in the kneecap. I think he's going to hit me in the head with a baseball bat. I don't know what this guy's going to do. And after he smacked Danks, he got his hat and he hit Danks in the head again. He said, let's get the F out of here. You bring me over to this fucking stiff. He's got no money, you jackass. And he walked out. And that was in the Jimmy Danks.
Wow. That's a great.
Oh, that Jimmy Danks. And then, of course, he brought Charlie Carabbia. I told you that story last time when he brought Charlie Carabbia. So we don't have to go there. But, the other story before we go about Jimmy Danks is one of those hey cuz calls.
Okay.
I want to see Perry Como. So now I said, cuz they're sold out. I can't get you in there. I don't have comp privilege. I'm just a musical director at the Hilton Hotel. I have to go ask for comp. They're sold out. I can't get you in. So you better get me in. I want to see the show. Now, Jimmy, he wearing that pea green outfit again. Now, don't forget that, what I'm going to tell you. There's no seat. So I said, I'll tell you what. I'll put a chair on stage. You sit in the chair. I'll give you my flute to hold. And I'll give you my dark jacket. And you put the dark jacket on over that pea green outfit and pretend you're in the band. And you can watch the show. So he sits there, doesn't know which end to grab the flute with. He's fumbling with it all during the show. Come time for the introduction of the band, I'm conducting the show for Perry Como. And Perry said, the great Jimmy Mulidore and his orchestra. And the band stands up. And there's Jimmy Danks with pea green pants on. And Perry Como looks at me and says, Maranami, who's this guy? And I told him, I'll tell you later, Perry. I said, I couldn't get him to see the show, but I said, he's my cousin. He said, well, couldn't you wear a dark pair of pants? He started giving me a little flack. Perry was giving me a little, Perry was no flunky, Right. So anyway, that's Jimmy Danks got there and got to see the show in the pea green pants. I mean, how do you can't make these stories up, Jimmy? Come on,
Jimmy. I got to tell you that's some fantastic stories, man. It's some great history. History of people from here in the Valley. The people will recognize, and we're here with Jimmy Mulidore, the Vegas player, the one and only, the legendary man.
I did try to call Dankers, maybe a year later.
Okay,
and I called him and he answered the phone, and he used the word F. He picked up the phone. He says, what the F do you want? And I said, hey, cuz, I'm coming into town. Maybe we can hang out a little bit. He says, don't you ever effing call me again, you dirty mother. So I called my father. My father said, what's up with Dankers? He said, he's living, an FBI guy's living with him now. They arrested him again. He's on the FBI most wanted list. He can't live alone anymore. FBI was living with him.
Hey, Jimmy, before we get into, let's get into one other thing here that I wanted to talk to you about today. So you were talking about Fats. You have any other stories about Fats that you could tell us?
No, I want to wish him away. That's the scariest. That's the scariest guy I ever seen in my life. I never want to think about him. Look at his face ever again. Ever.
I guess that's good. That's the only time you had to deal with him, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, Jimmy. When I think about Sandy, Billy, and Joey compared to these Mamalukes, I mean, these were notorious guys. I mean, they cut your head off. These people were not good people. And then again, I told you before, Sandy was the most sweetest guy in the world with me and Joey and Billy. And when you get these kind of guys, no. I mean, I was friends with Mo Dalis out here. I was friends with a lot of people, Carl Cohn. These were wonderful, connected guys.
Right.
But those guys in Youngstown, man. Woo, look, Charlie Carabbia. Oh, Maran. I mean, Jesus.
What can you tell us about Charlie?
I don't want to talk about him either. All I know is I met him. He looked like evil, all warmed over with. He looked at me like if he had a knife, he'd have cut my head off.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of things going on back in those days. There was, they had a turf war between Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and there was a few guys that were basically bad mouthing a whole bunch of people. I mean, there was even a point in time that Cleveland considered killing Charlie because he was even talking bad about them.
Oh, I know. I mean,
so and that kind of became the issue with him. He just was bad mouthing a lot of people, and that's what kind of ended up doing him in.
I guess, but I honestly, I get sick in my stomach when I talk about those guys. Oh my God.
Hey, Jimmy, I want to thank you for the show today. Thanks for being here. I want to thank all our audience. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to the show. You can watch these on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Amazing Podcast Company. All one word. Check us out. And make sure you check out the Vegas Player Show with the legendary Jimmy Mulidore. You can find his book, The Vegas Player, at jimmymulidore.com. If any of the audience members out there have any questions, you can also reach us at steelvalleysyndicate@gmail.com. For the Vegas Player today, I'm Jimmy Naples with the legendary Jimmy Mulidore. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, Jimmy. Nice to see you.
You too, Paisan.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was an amazing podcast from an amazing podcast company. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like and subscribe buttons and share it with your friends. It goes a long way in helping us produce more amazing content.